Hi kids. Okay, let's talk about Odds Against Tomorrow. 1959 film, directed by Robert Wise. I've talked about Robert Wise for director of West Side Story. So I did a video on West Side Story in my 100 Greatest Films of All Time series. If you haven't checked that out, go check that out. Also director of Sound of Music and many others. Not going to talk about it much because I've talked about him a couple times before. So the film stars Harry Belafonte, Robert Ryan, Shelley Winters. Also, we got Ed Begley in here and Gloria Graham. So it is based on a novel by William P. McGivern. The screenplay is credited to Nelson Gidding and John O. Killens. Uh, Asterisks on John O'Killens because he didn't actually write it. John O'Killens was a black author, important figure in the civil rights movement, was also friends with Harry Belafonte. Harry Belafonte was producing the film. Bellefonte broke onto the scene or broke big fame about 1956. This is 1959, the film comes out. So he's still primarily, when this film comes out, known as a singer, not as much for his acting, but he was quite good at both. Maybe a better actor than singer. I don't know. What do you think? Anyway, so Belafonte is producing. So he hires a writer that we've talked about on here before, Abraham Polonsky. Remember? I talked about him, I think, in the Force of Evil video. So blacklisted. Uh, but Harry Belafonte wanted him to write the screenplay. So he wrote the screenplay, and then they just used his friend's John O'Killen's name as the credit instead. Wonder what kind of financial arrangement was made there. William P. McGivern, writer, novelist. One of his novels that was also adapted to a film noir, was The Big Heat, directed by Fritz Lang, starring Glenn Ford and, like this film, Gloria Graham. There we go. So this film, so we've got black lead. It's 1959. So race is involved heavily in this film. Sometimes I see people complaining that, oh, they never used to make movies that with these messages or woke. Or, there's always been movies with messages. There's always been movies maybe with less of a message. Sometimes there's a movie and there's a message, and you don't even realize that there's a message in the movie. So anyways, so racism does play a part in this film. It is not really subtext in this. I think Harry Belafonte wanted it that way. He wanted the conversation. Uh, just died in what, April of this year, Harry Belafonte. I don't think it's funny. Sydney is the big name, but I think Harry is just as important. And then another big factor for this film, or notable thing that needs mentioning, is the score. The score is done by John Lewis. John Lewis was a jazz composer, pianist. He had worked with, I think he started with Dizzy Gillespie. He also worked with Charlie Parker and Miles Davis. So the big names that even anyone who doesn't listen to jazz knows. He's scored a couple other films as well. Yeah, that's about it for Odds Against Tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends.